we need to have a conversation about TreVeyon Henderson. Is he the best buy in fantasy football right now, or is he destined to be nothing more than the Ramondre Stevenson handcuff? In this video, we're going to take a look at an overview of TreVeyon Henderson's rookie year, stats and advanced metrics, and also look at his year 2 statistical comps, the players with the most similar rookie seasons and prospect profiles to TreVeyon Henderson's. Welcome back to Cups Analytics. Let's jump right into it. So I want to start this video off by looking back at what we thought of TreVeyon Henderson as a prospect entering the NFL. While there are a lot of people out there that saw him as being a talent right behind Ashton Jeanty, fighting for that RB2 role in this class with Hampton and Judkins, I pretty clearly had TreVeyon Henderson as my RB4 in the 2025 class. And a big part of that is the fact that while he was really good his rookie year at Ohio State, he didn't really do a ton else through the rest of his 4-year collegiate career. So this chart is the prospect overview I had for TreVeyon Henderson going into 2025 before he ever stepped foot on the NFL field. The main number to look at in this chart would be the Cup score column, the Cup score being my personal prospect model score, which takes into account collegiate production, size and athleticism, and draft capital. And while I saw TreVeyon Henderson being pretty clearly behind Jeanty, Hampton, and Judkins, a Cup score of 71.96 still puts him in a pretty solid group of prospects entering the NFL. You can see we had a top comp of Javonte Williams, and we also have 7 out of the 18 eligible prospects, not including the other 2025 rookies here. 7 out of 18 of those prospects averaging over 12 fantasy points per game at the NFL level across their careers. And we also see some pretty high-end comps sneak into this list as well, with Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, and Joe Mixon. So how did TreVeyon Henderson do in his rookie season? Looking at this data, we saw he had 911 rush yards and 221 receiving yards. He was 4th in the 2025 rookie running back class with 12.25 fantasy points per game. He was 1st in the class with 5.1 yards per attempt. He was also 1st in the class with a 39.6 breakaway play percentage. But on the flip side, the receiving work left a little bit to be desired. He only averaged 2.06 receptions per game, which was 6th, and 13 receiving yards per game, which was also 6th in the class. Now, what do these numbers say about TreVeyon Henderson, the NFL running back, when we look forward to what he could be in the future? To answer that question, we're going to look at his year 2 statistical comps. So the running backs that had the most similar rookie seasons and prospect profiles to TreVeyon Henderson. You can see from this chart here, we're sorting by similarity with the top row being the most similar player. And we're looking at a couple features specifically when determining these year 2 comps. First, we have Cup score, or the player prospect score that I created. As I mentioned before, it's still really important to consider this considering we've only seen 1 year from each of these players in the NFL. We also have year 1 first down market share. So what percent of your team's total first downs were you responsible for? We have year 1 receptions per game and year 1 yards after the catch per reception. So trying to encapsulate how good this player was in the receiving game for their team. And the reason I chose these fields specifically is because they showed the highest correlation with next year's fantasy points per game. And you can see the final 3 columns here are top 5, top 12, and top 24 finishes across their careers so far for each of these comps. So looking at this list of comps for TreVeyon Henderson, you can see we get quite a mixed bag in terms of the players here. First off, it's looking like he has a pretty safe floor in terms of being an NFL level running back talent, given 19 of his 20 closest comps have at least 1 RB2 finish in fantasy points per game. However, it starts to get a little bit more dicey for TreVeyon Henderson when we look a little further into the higher upside comps here. We see 12 out of 20 have hit at least 1 RB1 finish across their careers, so a little bit over 50%. And then we only see 5 of his closest comps hit at least 1 top 5 finish across their careers, so only 25%. And of those 5 players that hit a top 5 finish, we only see 1 repeat player that hit 2 top 5 finishes, and that's Dalvin Cook. All that being said, I think the outlook for TreVeyon Henderson is a little murky going into his 2nd year. Toward the end of the regular season and also throughout the playoffs, we also just saw Ramondre Stevenson look objectively better than TreVeyon Henderson in the running game and the receiving game. And this happened toward the part of the year where we are really hoping to see these rookies take the reins of the backfield and fully break out. And not only did we see a decrease in the effectiveness and usage of TreVeyon Henderson down the stretch, the market also just seems to be obsessed with the name TreVeyon Henderson in Dynasty Fantasy Football. Looking at Dynasty startup data from the past month, you can see TreVeyon Henderson is currently an early 4th round pick, going ahead of assets like the 2026 103 and right around the 2026 102, while also going ahead of guys like Breece Hall and Christian McCaffrey. So while I definitely see the upside with TreVeyon Henderson, I think it might be a little bit overblown at this point. And considering the price you'd have to pay for him in Dynasty and his expected ADP in 2026 redraft leagues, I'm probably more out than in on TreVeyon Henderson. Be sure to let me know what you guys think about TreVeyon Henderson down in the comments. Do you agree with me? Am I completely wrong on this one? Let me know, and be sure to check out the channel. Check out my other videos of the 2025 rookie prospects, recapping their rookie seasons and looking at their year 2 statistical comps. And also keep an eye out for 2026 rookie content coming soon. That should be coming later this offseason. That's all I got for you guys in this one, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.